If you're using AutoCAD daily, chances are you're working with PDFs a ton as well. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my tips, tricks, and workflows when it comes to creating, editing, and marking up PDFs within AutoCAD. It's super useful to be able to import and convert PDFs directly into AutoCAD line work, which I'm going to share a trick to at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around. I want to thank Bluebeam for sponsoring today's video. They're easily the best PDF software out there, especially for design and engineering. Make sure you check them out at the link below and get a free trial today. Let's jump right into today's video. Okay, so first off, when it comes to working with PDFs within AutoCAD itself, you have two main options. First up is the PDF attach option, and then the second one is the ability to import a PDF directly within your drawing, converting as much of the line work as possible into AutoCAD line work. Now, we're going to work on that a little bit later and focus on that at the end of the video. But first up, I'm going to show some tips and how to attach a PDF overlay or underlay within AutoCAD. This is going to be super helpful for projects where you don't necessarily need all of the objects in the PDF, but you want to pull a few things. Maybe you're tracing some stuff or adding in objects and layers from a client's drawing. So to do this, you can type in the command PDF attach. You've also got the option up here under insert to choose attach. This is going to bring up the XREF or file reference dialog here, and you simply need to browse to where you've got a PDF saved. So I'm going to paste in the link where I've got some PDFs, and we're just going to choose this detail here. Now it's going to ask me where I'd like it. I like to specify on screen rather than just place it at 00. This way I can place it myself wherever I happen to be working. Same as the scale, you can either leave this as a 1, and I'm going to show you how to align and scale PDFs to match up with your drawing in the next step. So for the rest of these, you can leave them default. Typically, you'll want a relative path for file types. I've got a whole video on how those work, or post in the comments if you'd like, and I can explain it or make a video focused on the path types within AutoCAD. But if we hit OK, we're going to get to choose where we're going to put this PDF. It's going to come in automatically. Now you can see by default, it kind of looks like it's see-through. The colors don't really make sense. If you'd like it to display as it normally would, you can bring up the properties menu here. You can hold control and tap 1, or right click on the PDF itself and choose properties down here. Here you're going to have a couple options. The main one is the adjust color, and you can see that it's trying to kind of make it opaque or match your background color. Typically I'll turn this to no, so it just looks like a plain old PDF. This also helps me differentiate between the different objects and what I've got in my drawing. So you can see by default, it just brings this PDF into AutoCAD, and in theory, I could just leave it here. I could even create a viewport around this to include this in maybe a small inset in my drawing detail sheet. But if you'd like to take it another step forward and scale or align this so that you can actually pull measurements or start tracing this PDF. To start, if we'd like to simply scale this detail so that we can pull measurements, trace, anything like that, if we'd like these objects to be as close to the actual drawn size as possible, we simply need to use the scale command on our PDF. If we select the PDF and type in scale and hit enter, it's going to ask for a base point. Now you're going to want to choose the same base point as your first reference point, which we'll get to in a second. You just need to know the actual distance between any two lines or objects within the PDF. Now typically you'll have either a scale bar or a dimension that you can use. Otherwise you're going to be guessing, and this is not going to be very accurate. But if you do want to trace off of this, it looks like we've got a 200 millimeter dimension down here. This isn't the best. Typically you'd like a larger dimension for better accuracy. When you're scaling a small dimension or a small object, you're going to lose some of that accuracy because this is just as accurate as where we click. But to start, we're going to choose at the bottom center of this line here, and we're going to click that as our base point. Without moving my mouse, I'm going to tap R for reference and hit enter, and then I'm going to select this same spot again. It's going to now ask me for the second point. We're going to go straight up here to the center of this black line and click again. We know that is 0.2 or 200 millimeters if you're working in metric. So we're just going to type in 0.2 and hit enter. Now it's going to scale our whole PDF drawing here so that this distance is equal to 0.2. So if we type in distance or DIST and choose the center of this lower line and then roughly the center of this upper line here, you can see that we're getting 0.2 or 0.19998 depending on where we click. So if you see that distance, it's 0.2. So that's how you scale a PDF to be able to draw or copy from it within your drawing. But next up, we're going to be taking a look at how to actually align a real location with another location. And for that, we're going to use a floor plan example. So we're going to flip over to our other drawing here. So say we have our floor plan and another trade or discipline has sent us a floor plan with their electrical or their cabinets or something else laid out on it, but we don't have the CAD drawing. One option we do have is the ability to attach our PDF and overlay it or underlay it behind the actual line work we do have. So for our example here, we're going to use that attach command again, bring in a floor plan PDF. Again, we're going to choose our location on screen, and we're not going to bother with scaling. One is fine because we are about to align and scale it ourselves. So we can see that our PDF has been brought in here. We're going to zoom in on our PDF here, and we're going to use the align command. So you can see this time I've left the color flip because it actually makes it a lot easier to see the line work within this one. But we're going to select our PDF. You can see it's selected here. Because it's showing that we have our PDF underlay. Another thing to note while we're up in this ribbon panel here is you do have a lot of settings that you can play with your PDFs, including adding a clipping boundary, like getting rid of objects you don't need, changing up the fade if you're going to use this as a background, as well as a few other settings like monochrome and underlay, which is super useful. But what we're going to do here is use that align command, as I mentioned. So what you need is at least 2 points in your drawing that you know the location of and will match up with the PDF. And that'll make sense in a second here. So we're going to type in align with our PDF selected, and it's going to ask for our first source point. So that will be the first point on our PDF that we want to align. So if you turn on snapping here, if this drawing was originally created in CAD, chances are you can snap directly to the lines of this PDF, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to snap to this bottom corner here, the bottom left corner in this little like W shape. We're going to choose that point, and now it's going to ask where that destination will be. So I'm going to zoom out, and we're going to go right over to here. I'm going to click that exact point, and then we're going to go back to our PDF to grab the second point. Typically, when you're aligning or georeferencing objects, you're going to want to choose 2 points that are as far away from each other as possible. So I'm going to go with the top right corner over here as my second point. You're going to zoom out. We're going to go over to that point over here, hit enter, and now it's going to ask us if we'd like to scale our PDF object based on these points. And you want to make sure you hit yes. So Y and enter, and you're good to go. Now if we zoom out, you can see that this actually overlays perfectly. All of the lines are perfectly overlaid with our PDF, and now we have all this information from the PDF. So we can use that overlay, underlay, on, off to show our PDF behind our line work. So this is all actual CAD line work. And if we select the PDF and turn on that underlay show button, now we can see our PDF and we can start tracing these, we can start drawing, or we can just use this as like a reference point so that when we're adding things in like support or other electrical elements, or maybe we're doing interior design, we now know where the plugs, the lights, the switches, the cabinets, and kitchen layout is going to look like in our project. Now, the reason this one here worked so well and we were even able to snap to all the line work is because of some of that prep work whoever created this PDF did before plotting it from AutoCAD. So next up, we're going to take a look at how to plot a PDF or print or export a PDF, depending on which term you want to use and how you want to describe it. But basically, we're taking our layout from AutoCAD and creating it into a PDF. So to do that, you're going to want to go to your layout tab that you've got set up here, and typing in plot is going to bring up the print menu. And what we're going to show here is just a few useful PDF options that I always try to make sure are turned on. So one of those is to be using a plotter that makes sense for what you're doing, but also includes all of this AutoCAD data. The default DWG to PDF is a great one. I also highly recommend Bluebeam PDF. This is going to allow your PDFs to not only be clean and crisp, but it's also going to ensure that all of your fonts are included, and this plays well and works nicely with Bluebeam, which we're going to talk about in a second because it's a huge part of my workflow after I create a PDF and how I work with marked up PDFs. So once you've selected your plotter, another setting that you always want to make sure you have checked on is the plot with plot styles. This is going to use the plot style tables up here on the top right, which I have an entire video on, but basically these control which colors will print as what when plotted to PDF or paper, including the line thicknesses that can be coordinated with either a layer style or with a specific color within your drawing. Say red is thickest and yellow is lightest, or something like that. Those settings can all be controlled through your plot style tables. And other than that, you're going to want to go through your plot options and just make sure everything that you're interested is checked to plot on. I typically will plot transparencies because I do use them a lot with my hatches, as you've probably seen in previous videos. It does add a lot of kind of depth and color and style to your files. Another one to check is your quality. Upping this for production drawings is highly recommended. And then finally, you can check out the properties of the actual plotter or PDF configuration. This is going to allow you to customize specific properties, change things of how they're going to plot, and just ensure things are included, including those fonts like I mentioned. But when you're already there, simply click OK to plot, and you're going to get a PDF in seconds that's easy to work with and clean and clear. Another cool thing, if you are plotting to Bluebeam, is the ability to display and edit the actual layers within your drawing, which is super useful for designers doing checks and review. You can turn things off, you can highlight and mark up PDFs quickly and easily, which leads me to my next step in my typical workflow. I want to thank Bluebeam for sponsoring today's video because I do legitimately use them in my workflow every day, especially when it comes to drawing review and markups. For almost every drawing we create in AutoCAD, someone, whether it's ourselves, a project manager, an engineer, manager, or client, will need to review it before we send it out. Personally, whenever I plot drawings from AutoCAD, I'll open them up directly in Bluebeam Review. This allows me to check my plots quickly as well as compare to any markups or previous PDF versions. This not only makes it a lot quicker and easier when it comes to drawing review, but it also makes sure I catch any issues or errors that I may have missed. For example, if I get a redline drawing PDF from my manager, I can easily run a compare documents to make sure that I caught everything in the newest PDF that I just created. It instantly highlights everything and makes sure nothing gets missed automatically. When it comes to managing and completing my markups, it's a huge time saver. Every project manager I work with does their markups in Bluebeam, and everything gets tracked in one place, so it's super easy to see what's been addressed, who's working on what, and what still needs to be done. I don't have to go digging through emails or previous files, guessing or chasing any old versions down of the same PDF. It's super useful and saves me a ton of time. It also makes collaborating with multiple reviewers and a team of drafters super easy. If you're working with a team, you can quickly jump into what they call a studio session, which you can invite others and review the same PDF in real time. You can even see who's marking which up, and you can make comments on other markups, check things that have been done, and see who said what, so that you're always on top of what needs to be done next. So if you're already working with PDFs in AutoCAD and markups, I highly recommend trying out Bluebeam Review or recommending it to your manager. It's a must-have in my workflow, and with today's link you can get a free trial down in the description. I highly recommend it. Now let's jump back into the next tip. Alright, so next up, this may be my actual favorite command when it comes to working with PDFs within AutoCAD. I know I was super excited when they first brought this out a few years ago, and that is the PDF import command. This is going to import a PDF and try to convert the objects, line work, text, and hatches into AutoCAD objects in the process. Now, I will warn that this is not always accurate and it doesn't always work perfectly. But if the PDF was created in CAD or another vector drawing software, there's a pretty good chance at least some or all of the line work and hatches will be brought in properly. Now, you always want to double check these and make sure things are scaled. That's why we checked out that scale command earlier and how to scale a PDF. It's going to work similarly for this command. So if you click up on the ribbon tab and the insert tab here and then choose PDF import, or just type in PDF import, you're going to be able to choose a PDF. We're going to choose that floor plan one we created or we saved earlier and brought in, and hit open. So it's going to show me the PDF and it's going to give me a few options here in the import PDF dialog box. I want to make sure that I have specify insertion point checked on. This is so I can place it where I want when it converts and imports it into the drawing. The rest of the settings you can probably, for the most part, leave by default, though you do want to make sure vector geometry is checked on as well as solid fills. Sometimes you may want to import as a block. This is going to keep everything attached and contained, making it easier to scale, and then you can always explode it after that's done. But we're just going to hit OK here, click on location, and see how this came through. So you can see that our PDF has been brought into AutoCAD and it's actually worked pretty well. This text is editable. It's come in the proper size and style. All of the line work has been brought in as well, which is super useful. The one thing I will note is that if the PDF is all black and white and doesn't have any layers associated with it, chances are all of these objects are going to just be on a single layer. Now you can see this one, it's actually called it PDF, but it has put these objects on the proper layer, which is super useful. This isn't always the case, and it really depends on the plotter that was used when creating the drawing. It's another benefit to either using that DWG to PDF plotter or a Bluebeam plotter to include all of this layer and font data with your PDF file. Now that the PDF has been brought into the drawing, you can simply select it all, scale, and use one of the dimensions or a scale bar within the drawing as that reference size, and then you've got a to scale set of line work and objects that obviously you'll need to clean up and maybe add a bit of detail and hatching to, but this is going to save you a ton of time if you've got old PDFs or details that you've been sent but don't have the CAD files for. This is a great way to get that line work and those objects into AutoCAD with almost no effort on your own. So that's 3 simple workflows when it comes to PDFs in AutoCAD. Not only have we now created new PDFs, we've also imported, scaled, and converted PDFs within AutoCAD, as well as touched on markups and comments, review, tracking, all of that. So if you've got any PDF questions, don't forget to leave them down below in the comments, and thank you again to Bluebeam for sponsoring today's video. I really highly recommend checking them out. Use that link down below to get a free trial and see what you've been missing. Thanks for watching, have a good one, and cheers.